history and a hero we should know. Meet the black real estate entrepreneur and who's widely regarded today as one of the godfathers of Harlem. You won't hear much about him in public schools because he outsmarted them folks after they plotted on him and his people. Here is his backstory. Phillip Payton had a tough life and struggled to survive during the first half of his life. Now, in his early adulthood, he worked as a barber, a handyman, and finally as a janitor at a real estate firm. After saving his money for some time, in 1900, he began buying apartment buildings alongside Harlem, New York's West 134th and 135th Street. He then rented them out to black Americans who had difficulty finding shelter because of the color of their skin. However, whites were concerned that their neighborhoods in Harlem were becoming too black, shunned his business practice. Now, in 1905, Hudson Realty Company, a white-owned company, offered to buy Payton's apartments from him. He agreed to the deal and sold his apartments to the company, but what he wasn't aware of was the only reason they wanted his buildings were so they could evict the black tenants. Feeling angry and betrayed by this, Payton struck back at the folks by buying 2 more apartment buildings on the same block. He then evicted all the white tenants who were living in those buildings and moved in all the black tenants that the Hudson Realty had evicted. With each apartment building the Hudson Realty bought and evicted black tenants, Payton did the same thing back to them, matching the energy. This feud became known as the real estate race wars. By 1915, hundreds of black Americans would pour into Harlem, and many of them were able to get housing because of Mr. Payton. While you may have rarely heard of him or rarely seen him, just know he existed, never backed down, and won the real estate war brought upon him. This is one black man who just was not having it. More fact. Unfortunately, all the land or area that black Americans once occupied in Harlem is now being gentrified. It's being completely taken over by those folks and others.